Oh, what's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Hopped in the car trying to finish some errands today. I've been gone from Texas for about 21 days, so we got a lot of errands we're running. We got a lot of things we're picking up and doing. So I thank you for being here. I thank you for your patience. And yes, our family left a day before the crazy. When we were there in Yellowstone, because that's what the name of the video is. I mean, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna hit you with the Yellowstone first. When we went to Yellowstone, the rivers were very full. We went across a lot of towns that the river, the creeks were full. Thought that was abnormal. Said something to my mom about it. Also, we had a lot of snow in Yellowstone, which I thought was weird because it's summertime. It's literally June, but there was snow. It had snowed 3 days before previously, and it's almost like the snow had been piling up pretty well from the staff. Now here's my conundrum. When I went there, I realized this is the beginning of the season for towns that live near and around Yellowstone. When I was at our first camping location, which was glamping, they even complained that they only had 5 guests. That it was the beginning of the season, it's cold, they only had 5 guests. And I said, oh my gosh. And I heard kind of the similar rumblings in different cities and different towns we stopped in and got gas or did stuff like, yeah, they can't wait for Yellowstone, TV show to kick back up again because it always brings a lot of people up here. And I thought that's good. And to me, those were signs of recession. Let's just be honest. People don't got it to go spend. Yellowstone is not a cheap destination. The hotels are not cheap. The location isn't cheap, right? Spending $300, $400 a night at locations. And no food in the town is cheap. Like literally we were at a museum and this lady was like, do you know where we can get some cheaper food? And the lady's like, there's no cheap food here. You have to realize you're on the side of a national park. They have to drive trucks up into this mountain to get food here. So when I saw the news that we left, I went to Tampa to go to Andy his house's boot camp. And I saw the news. I said, oh my God, I'm so glad we left. When we did, we were going to leave on Saturday. I'm so glad we left Friday. Now, here's my thing. I want to go around the rant a little bit of this is this kind of culture of I'll do it someday. I'll start it someday. I'll do it in the future. Now, I went to Yellowstone by myself last year, and then this year I said I'm gonna take my family. And I had to arm twist them a little bit so that we could pay for all the flights and everything, get it done early in advance. To this day, I had a friend tell me, "Don't worry, you can go to Italy another year." Well, then the pandemic happened. And it looks like I'm never going to be able to go to Italy because I'm never going to get the jab. Point blank, period. And now as countries are struggling with tourism and struggling with dollars, they're opening back up. Prime example, number one right now is Japan and the yen. The yen is struggling. The Turkish lira is struggling. And when I tell people, hey, now's the time to go. If you're not going to go now, you're never going to go. Well, why is now the time to go? One, you're as young as you'll ever be. 2, you're as carefree as you'll ever be. 3, this is when you have the clarity of head that the American dollar is strong. Right now, you can go to Great Britain and UK and it's dollar for dollar. Right now, you go to Turkish lira, you go to Bali, you go to these places. The reason you have so many American folks would be like, I'm going over here. And look how cheap it is. It's because of the American dollar's power. And people love the dollar. That's the only reason. And when people try to argue with me about this, I'm like, all those fraternity bros and frat bros, if they don't have a skill that consistently can pay them income every month, they don't stay over there. I had an African Uber driver pick me up in Florida, and he was like, oh man, I was saying how I just came back from Africa, making conversation about Africa because he's African, right? And he was like, oh man, if you have like 1,500 from my country, I think he's Libya, you could just live there every month and be like a king. And I want people to understand in America, we have a very concentrated view. We're very proud. We're very like, we can do it someday. And we don't think about the power of now. There's a great book called The Power of Now. And a lot of times, a lot of people you'll talk to when they're in a couple years from now, they'll be like, oh yeah, I had an ideal to start a business. Oh, I had an ideal to move to another state. Oh, I had an ideal. Listen. Let me just go ahead and knock off rip. 50% of the population, they're not going to change. They're not doing no major moves. They're not doing anything strategically different. The recession is going to come. It's going to hit them. They're going to complain every day on Facebook and the internet. That's what's to expect from those folks. Period. Like, don't, you got an aunt or uncle, you trying to convince them. Like, don't do it. The reason I was so happy at the event is so many classy climbers. I say almost half the room came to Andy Bob's House Boot Camp. And one lady was like, well, I'm glad he's not a scam. And I started laughing to myself because I wanted to say, we are out on this extra vigilant in the Black community looking for a scam. Somebody's trying to scam us. Someone's trying to get over on us. Someone's going to take something from us. And it's because we lack options. It's because we lack opportunity. It's because we lack the insight to see further, right? Now, let me kind of flesh that out. There's a lot of people posting, and let's just kind of go there, right? The people that sell courses, people selling crypto, people on the NFT tip, people all they're real quiet. They're real quiet right now, right? And I made a video, and there's a couple of videos coming out talking about cash in, cash out businesses. I stay consistent on here, regardless if I have ups or downs, regardless if I'm losing or winning, regardless if I'm taking hits or not, because I want you to have a realistic view of someone who's actually in business for real and who can take a hit for real, who take a L for real, who take a W. A lot of these people out here on YouTube, and that's all they've been doing for 15, 16 years. You know what I mean? They've been on YouTube as long as YouTube been out here, right? This is their business. This is their life. There's nothing wrong with having a media company, but I keep telling you the average YouTuber's lifespan is 2 to 5 years. That's why I said my channel has always been just a documentation of what I'm doing, not my only business, right? So if you see me out here, you see me promoting, you see me doing stuff, people are like, well, I see you everywhere. You're doing this, you're doing that. It's just a part of business. It's just a part of business, but a lot of these people are quiet that are taking an L. It's the same thing happened when Bitcoin hit the fail the first time. A lot of the Bitcoin people went away, and then they came back out, and everybody's an expert. No, I tell you this right now, the next 2 to 5 years, the tide is coming out, and you see who's swimming naked. All right, period. That's just what it is going to be. Now, there's this myth, why would nobody should buy a house right now? It's going to crash 40%. They've been saying that since 2016. I want you to understand, you and your wife, if you had a kid in 2016, they are now almost how many years old? Let me think. Almost 8 years old, right? Because you've been feeding this same lie that if you could just wait, you just keep waiting, that opportunity is going to come, and now you can't buy a house. You're priced out. I've already told you, from $0 to $500,000, hedge funds are heavily buying. Capital companies are heavily buying. Local mom and pop people are heavily buying. Why? Because they know you will not get your stuff together. You'll sell yourself this dream of you just wait a little bit longer. You'll be renting for them for the next 10 years of your life. This is why people are marketing you. Don't buy a house. Don't buy a house. Because you're going to be underwater. First thing I told this woman is, who gives a shit if you're underwater? Most people ain't moving. Once they buy a house, they're going to be there about a good 5 to 10 years. On average, 7 years. The average person moves on average 7 to 9 years once they purchase a house. So everybody who purchased a house before the 2008 crash, they made all their money back in 2019. Average 11 years if they stayed in the house. They made their money back. So someone's selling you like, you shouldn't buy a house. Oh, no. Knowing that you can't control your rent. Rent just gonna do this. Rent gonna keep going up. Rent doesn't come down. No matter who's on this internet telling you something, well, rent comes down. You'll never see $800 rent again. You'll never see $1,000 rent again. I don't care if we're in a Great Depression. You won't see it again. You'll be out in the country living in a trailer 2 hours away from any major city for $800 rent. That's where you'll be. Oh, Erica, don't be like that. No, I'm serious. We drove through Salt Lake City, Utah, going all the way to Yellowstone, right? And there were towns that had population 200, population 400, population 1,000, population 2,000, population 6,000. They had mobile homes out there where these places get negative 10 degrees. That's where you're going to be living. And population 600, trying to chase this $800 rent. It does not exist, right? But this is what's happening, right? That people are trying to convince you that, if you just keep waiting a little bit longer, it's going to have all this opportunity, right? And there's this dream that if you wait, well, don't buy a house right now, because if you just wait a little longer, it'll be all right. And so let me just be very clear. I don't give a shit if you're underwater. I know it's a lot of cursing today, and I apologize. I don't care. You know why? Because you're not going to move nowhere for the next 10 years. On average, you got little kids, you can't afford it. And people say, well, Erica, you don't want people trapped in a house and a job opportunity comes on. The average person doesn't change jobs. They quit jobs every 2 to 3 years, but they stay in the same careers. They go lateral to lateral to lateral to lateral to lateral. That's it. They don't switch major careers where all of a sudden, hey man, there's an opportunity for you to get $30,000 and you got to move 4 states to get it. That doesn't happen. Not even truckers. Truckers hop from company to company inside one state. That's how they like to do it. Right? And so a lot of time people are trying to sell you this, oh, if you buy a house, you're locked in and you're trapped and you might not be able to do this or that. Again, stop. Stop. Because what's happening is you have people buying homes when they're 40. They're going to stay in them till they're 50. And they're saying, well, what if they're underwater? The reason they're talking about are they get underwater is because that's their only asset. We are in an asset-based society now. After 1971, after the dollar got off the gold standard, all these people you see with assets are doing well. People without assets are crying on the internet about inflation and gas prices and food. And that's 50% of the population, right? And the Black community, that's 50%, 58% renting. And the Latino community, that's 58% renting, right? Owning cars. That's not gonna help you, right? So they overly focus on not buying a house or saying it's risky to buy a house or they can't find the right house. They don't want their kids in that neighborhood. They want to be over here, so they got to rent instead of figuring out ways to increase their income to go over there, right? Knowing darn well, Skippy, that by the time they actually do consider buying a house, they'll be 40, 50 years old. Who at 60 years old want a 30-year mortgage? Who? I wouldn't. Maybe 15 years. All right. And so the numbers are in the favor of people who buy younger. So again, when do people really start investing in real estate investing? 35 to 55. And why do I think that comes from 35 to 55? I think that comes from when you start getting to an age where you realize I'm going to be working forever, or I got parents to take care of. And if I got to take care of these parents, oh no, they don't have these options. So, they over focus on the housing because it's the only asset they got. They don't, again, they already showed you Black millionaires. Black millionaires alone, they only have 2 asset classes. They have a lot of cash or they have a house. Or they have a house and they have a business. That's it. They don't have a bunch of reserves. They don't have insurance. They don't have other investments. They don't have stocks. So when you don't have a lot of asset classes, you obsess about the house. You obsess about not buying it or buying it. Okay? So here's the thing. Why am I ranting a little bit about cryptos and courses and all that other stuff? Why am I ranting about that? Because you have a lot of people right now who are on Facebook, Instagram, podcasts, YouTube, and it costs them nothing to be wrong. There's a guy right now whose channel is just hitting crazy numbers because Skynet loves him for whatever reason, right? And he's wrong consistently for months now. Oh, everything's gonna crash. It's going down 40%. Oh man, Austin, Texas is there. Oh, this is happening. He's going off the rails. And it costs him nothing to be wrong because he doesn't have any skin in the game. Right? And this is the biggest thing I want you guys to get to you is the power of now is realizing, do you have skin in the game? It doesn't cost you anything to be wrong if you don't have real skin in the game. But you are in the game. You're watching the game. You're a spectator of the game. Now, what do I mean spectator? If you don't have any assets, you're spectating. If you don't have any stocks, you're spectating about stock market. If you're not in a relationship and you're talking about relationships, you sound crazy. This past weekend, someone said something like, yeah, marriage isn't for men. And half the men on the bus looked at him like he was damn crazy. And I remember somebody said that's one of them algorithm folks. They've been listening to the internet too long and start saying stuff out loud and everybody look at you like you're crazy. Like, what are you talking about, dude? We're talking about houses and you're talking about relationships. You dig? They're in an echo chamber. That's very dangerous. And this is why you have to get out of it and you have to go to actual events in person. And I'm telling you, go to events in person, go to conferences in person. We had people before we even left the event partnering together. We had people partner with Andy. We had people partner with each other. We had people, hey man, I got Lane over here. I know how to do this. They already were looking up land lots. They were already looking up hard money lenders. They already getting their credit together. There was inside there that CG Miss Gigi helped them get credit cards in the mastermind during the boot camp on Saturday, right then and there. And so you have people, I think about 10 people got them, 10 or 12 out of the 30. And so you're telling people are talking all this craziness about housing, about stocks, about stuff. They have no skin in the game. They don't have any stocks. The numbers already show 90% of crypto is owned by like 7% of the people. Very small number. Very few whales, right? You and your uncle Bulk, who's got $100 in Bitcoin. Okay, you're not an expert, right? You're not. But it costs you nothing to be wrong. So again, when I come on here and I'm explaining what's going on with my businesses, with the trucking, we had so many people mad and hating and saying crazy stuff to me. I'm like, listen, I'm just telling you the numbers. And now that all these truckers a year later are saying what I was saying a year ago, right? You can pat me on the back. I'll take it. But all these truckers are coming on saying, man, oh my God, the rates, the numbers, the gas, the drivers quitting, having to pay 15, 20 grand to get a foreign driver on here with a green card and he gonna quit anyway. That's crazy. The gas is high. That's crazy. The rates are high. That's crazy. Every company you interact with makes money off the trucks. That's crazy. Right? That's the trucking industry. And I'm sitting here telling you, I said, listen, 1/3 gonna fold, 1/3 gonna keep limping, and 1/3 gonna thrive. Now, some of the biggest names in trucking are saying that a year and a half later, right? Or some guys are completely quitting, selling everything they got, and doing what? Putting it in real estate. Because I said all roads lead to real estate. That's the power of now, deciding I'm going to turn the ship now. All right? So does that put a little egg on my face? For sure, but there hasn't been a year where I made less than $450,000 for the past 4 years. So yes, do I have hiccups? Do I have issues? Do I have money that go funny sometimes? For sure. But I know where I'm turning the ship and why I'm turning it now. Again, we just had the other night another fire at another beef processing in Greenburg, Wisconsin, JBS. You had a company in Texas say, listen, I'm getting ready to start a beef processing because there's going to be a backup. So you got a millionaire here in Texas who's like, hey, I'm going to start a processing company because it's already getting backed up. And he's just the owner of cows. And he's like, nah, I'm going to go ahead and build a factory. I'm going to build a factory here in Texas because I know it's coming. So stuff I'm telling you guys, I'm reading you guys the news, I'm telling you guys the power now, I'm telling you master plan communities, I'm telling you these things, not for you to be afraid and be doom or gloom, but for you to thrive, but for you to decide what lane to get in. When we sit here and tell you the average person makes 30K a year, so they're on the internet crying about dates and crying about paying for gas, they don't make any money. And when you tell them, hey, it's time for you to go be a CDL driver, a plumber, a welder, a radiologist, something that will pay you 60 to 100K a year, 80 to 150 a year. Oh man, does it got math? Do I have to do a lot of work? Do I have to take up a lot of hours? They've already told you the answer. They're going to be the left behind, and you have to leave them behind. When I sit here and tell you, and I'll tell you guys, because it doesn't matter if I tell you, because a lot of you will hear it go out your ear and don't process it. I'm building 2 houses. Now, hear me out. Building 3 twos with the ADU in back. It's only going to take me about $250 to build it. Its value is going to be about $750. Let's say the economy takes a hit, $600,000, right? The lowest, right? $600,000 times 2, because I'm building 2, the exact same. It's $1.2 million. 75% cash out refi. Now you say, Erica, cash out refi is usually 80%. Let's just say the economy takes a turn. 75%, the lender's still a little nervous. 75%, that's $1 million. I'm gonna take that money, pay off debt. The other half, get a beach house that's also a rental in North Carolina, and take another portion and put it in what? Dividend stocks. And people say, oh man, Erica, that's a bad plan. Again, you can say that's a bad plan because you're on the sidelines and it costs you nothing. It costs you nothing to be wrong. It costs me physical dollars to be wrong. It costs me with trucking physical dollars to be wrong. It costs other people physical dollars to be wrong. Right now, I might have to have an emergency hop on a plane to go to Detroit. Why? We had to switch property managers. We had to switch contractors. We had to switch a bunch of stuff. We had to call the police and say, hey, we're going to get this person out today, and she's getting out next week. And we're going to check every one of these properties, and we're going to get ready to sell 2 of them. And then when we're done with the other 2, we're going to sell them 2 as well. Why? Because it costs you something to be wrong. It costs you money if you make a bet. And this is the difference. You got a lot of people on YouTube spectating, talking crazy. Oh, marriage ain't for me and this ain't for me. Sir, you're not even in the game. You ain't asked no woman out in years. What are you talking about? You're not changing jobs. It don't matter what you think. If you have somebody, listen, I keep telling y'all this. Even if somebody's in the right direction, right? They turned around, they're facing this way. It's the right direction. And the train is coming. You tell them, hey, man, you want to get off track? Hey, man, you might want to get off tracks. Man, I'm in the right direction. Sir, you might want to get off the tracks. I'm in the right direction, Erica. Shut up. Okay. The train will run them over. Again, what did I just tell you? I'm going to build 2 properties in a hot market, Florida. Well, Erica, what if it crashes? Again, building it for $250. Value's going to be $755. $750 at the end of it. Let's say the market crashed $600,000. I am showing you a technique that many people use over and over. When somebody said, how can you make $1 million a year? I will show you. You won't like it because you will have to work. That's literally what someone said during Andy's boot camp. Man, this isn't work. Yes, following instructions is work. It is. That's just the deal. And again, the hard money lender that was talking at the event, which I'll do a whole review of the event or whatever in another video. He was talking to the event. He was like, yeah, you put some skin in, I put some skin in. You put some money in, I'll put some more money in. You put some in, I'll keep helping you. You can call my phone. You can call my cell phone. You can call my house. You got a problem? We're in it together. See, people don't want to hear that because your local banker don't give a crap. And I've sat here for 5 years and told y'all, don't deal with major banks. I sat here and told you, if you do your taxes, you file your QuickBooks, you fill your Stripe, you'll get loans from Stripe. You'll get loans from PayPal. You get loans from these people, QuickBooks. And people have been resistant. Oh, I don't know. I'm thinking about it maybe next year. I don't know. Maybe next year. Again, the power now is more than ever. Think about all the people talking about they was going to start an e-com store 4 years ago. Think about all the people that was going to get crypto 4 years ago. Think about all the people that was going to get trucking. Trucking went, came, boomed, and boomed down. And there are still people like, I'm still thinking about getting a truck. No, you're not going to do it. I already know you're not going to do it. Because the power of now and the law of attraction, if you're going to tell me, Erica, I'm thinking about doing this thing, I already know you're not going to do it. I already know. I've spoke to over 6,000 people. I already know. Phone consultations. I know from your energy, from your tone of voice. Business and life is up here and in here. You got people who grew up where mom and dad talked shit on them, treated them bad. They got low self-esteem. They go out into the world and everything is a reflection of that. That's why I'm always advocating for people to get therapy. Like, that's not a us thing. That's a you thing, bro. That's a you thing. That's you see the world through those glasses. Okay? So when I sat here and told my family, we have to go. We've got to go now. We've got to go now before it gets super expensive and all the places are booked up and you can't go do anything. We were there within 24 hours of a major flood. We left within 24 hours of a major flood. I keep telling y'all I believe in the power now, and I believe when you are hearing to do something, go do it. All those people that wanted to travel and be travel bloggers and do all that stuff, that was hot. 2016 to 2020, you couldn't tell a travel blogger nothing. You couldn't tell a van life person nothing. You couldn't tell a travel person anything. They were hot here on YouTube. 2020, where they at? At their mom house. All these people trying to get internet fame, let me tell you, I don't want it. Right? There's a guy who went off because he didn't get invited to InvestFest. I was like, dude, who cares they didn't invite you to a conference? You've got thousands of people listening to you on your platform. Speak to those people. Talk to those people. Educate those people. Who cares if your peers aren't like, you're doing such a good job? They're struggling with their own identity and their own bullshit, right? And so when I sit here and say, like, the power is now to turn the ship, right? It doesn't mean in 90 days everything's gonna magically turn around. It doesn't mean that, right? But you deep down know many of these people that are robbing, stealing porches, if they took 1/4 of that energy they have and picked any of those skills I posted on the community wall, they would be killing it. But we have a society telling you that, hey man, you don't need that job. You could be a YouTuber, you could be a podcaster. You don't have any life experience. You ain't made no money. You ain't traveled nowhere. So you're really just repeating topics of other people. Right? I hope I didn't lose everybody there with that. I know it's a little harsh. 332 people here hit the like button. I'm talking about the power now. I'm talking about what you're seeing in the economy. Somebody asked me about credit, and I said, listen, even if credit dries up September, October, November, guess who's not going to dry up for? People with collateral, people actually doing stuff. The guy or girl who doesn't own a house, who doesn't have a car, who doesn't own anything, they're stuck like Chuck. All right. My friend drove by a title company. He said, oh my God, it was like 5 cars at the title company. Title loan place. Texas, they're called title loan places, right? With cars. It's also with housing. Okay. I told you there's no reason for anybody to go through foreclosure right now because of the appreciation of your house. You could just sell it. But what happens is people wait to the last damn minute. If it's 941 days until you go through a foreclosure, which is basically 3 years, that means you waited till the last minute, till the foot is dragging across the line. They go, man, I better make a decision. And this is how when people give me this sob story about how they can't buy a house because, if they buy a house, they'll be stuck there. They can't move and take different jobs. And baby, you weren't going to take no different job, no way. You weren't leaving that city, no way. You know how many times I get on the phone with people, they've been somewhere for 10 years, haven't liked it all 10 years and still haven't moved? All the time. I get on the phone all the time with people like that. That's how I know, right? Yeah, a lot of people go to Yellowstone, this time of year. Uh, you know, yeah, I'm here. I'm unharmed. I'm leaving and breathing. And listen, that's what I keep telling y'all. That's the thing. I keep letting you know, like the power of now, like something, something you want to do, you got to go. Anything's a good idea if you're willing to put yourself behind it. That's my whole point, Anthony. I'm like, why would I constantly be online promoting this guy, talking about this guy, showing this guy stuff? And it's because in this economy where they think something is easy money, right? It's got to be easy. You're talking about credit cards. It's got to be. We still have a lot of people with the old mindset that credit cards are bad, spending is bad, investing is bad, right? There you go. The pound one for 120 was almost forever. It was 1.6. There you go. Britain's on a bar. Yeah, it is. It's called the power of now. Look, there you go. Erica, I just came back from Costco and salmon is $40. Reuben, I put it in every video. I share the link for the $25 off a box of wild salmon. I get $25. You get $25. This is the culture. We're going to barter. I'm going to share y'all all the deals I can share on here because I know I pay attention to where my food and where the food is coming from, right? There you go. 2019, when I traveled around the globe, Japan had the same exchange rate as Kenya. Cheap. Returned to the U.S. that November. Yep. Man, I tell you. So everybody who watches this channel may or may not know the story. My grandpa was 87 years old in 2020. We were scheduled and paid for tickets to go to Japan in March 2020. Guess what? Didn't happen. All right. Still didn't happen. Really didn't get a total refund. Got some ridiculous credits from Delta. I was very upset about it. Even now, I have friends who are in the military couples and they've been trapped there this whole pandemic and then some. And now the military is like, well, I guess we're going to move y'all maybe in January 2023. We don't know what's going to happen in January 2023. They've been trapped there since 2018. Most duty stations, you stay for 3 years and you go about your business. Their daughters have literally grown up in Japan. Now, it's not a terrible thing. My father grew up, my brother and my uncle were born in Japan, stayed in Japan for 7 years of their life with our grandparents. But I literally told them I'm going to come see you because I think you're still going to be there. But now you got to travel with the travel group, So now I got to pay money to go with a travel group to get there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, don't do math in public. Look, hence hashtag own Atlanta now domain. There you go. $800 rent running from tornadoes in the field. I mean, that's basically what it is. It's the power of the dollar is less. And so when you sit here and go, well, I wish things went back the way it was, it's not going to happen. Thanks for the 4 deal on courses drinking from fire hose. Listen, I mean, again, here's the thing. I may not always be in a great position. Something may be going on with me. Money may be weird. Stuff that happened. I may be building the houses and I'm like neglectful of the channel. I'm trying not to. I'm gonna do a separate channel where I just record me building the houses or whatever. Um, because people on YouTube love seeing stuff get built from the ground up, time lapse, whatever. Um, what I want y'all to understand is I know what I teach works. I've seen it work hundreds of times. Testimonials, we got so many video testimonials. We're just throwing them up on Instagram with the little review box or whatever. And I just want you to understand, you have to take action. If nothing about your situation will change unless you change it. And I know that makes my channel unpopular because I talk to people about change. I talk to people about having to do something. And the nature of people on YouTube is I just want to watch a video and feel good. And I get that. No problem. Right? No problem. Just like now, I'm watching these workers get thrown out of a van at Home Depot and hopping in a truck. Really nice one. They went and did something today and they got paid. That just is what it is. So many people got duped with that underwater mortgage scam. They walked away and then they couldn't even afford to move back to the same area. Jim, that's my whole point. It doesn't matter if the house is underwater. Stay there 10, 11 years till it balances out. Most people from the 2008 prices have balanced out. There's a few parts of Chicago, Illinois that didn't balance out, right? And that's for various reasons on Chicago, right? But overall, everybody who bought in 2007, 2008 recovered. Arizona, Las Vegas, Florida, they recovered. So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm underwater. They get obsessed with that because they can't use their house like a credit card. They can't take equity out of their house and buy junk and vacations and trips. They actually have to commit to it and pay it down. Same thing with the student loan thing. The reason people are crying every day about the student loan thing is they went to school and they know they did bare minimum. I have friends now who went back just to finish a degree to finish something. Didn't even like the degree just to finish it. Just they were so pissed they spent so many years going and didn't finish. Right? There you go. Listen, everybody who owns a house, like I think I get maybe 15 postcards a month on a house in North Carolina we have and a house in Detroit and the one in Cleveland. I literally open a mailbox full of postcards. By the time I stack them up on the desk, I think it's 15 per house. Why? You can't get houses that cheap anymore. Even the ones in Detroit that we purchased for so freaking cheap, even with the tenant problems. And then the tenant problems out, we got a new property manager. We got a new attorney all of a sudden. We got all this stuff going this week right now. I'm literally pushing foot to the metal. These are my only 3 projects for the rest of the year. That's it. Building these 2 properties in Florida. They're my most focus. Turn and take it, cash out, refi those, put it in a beach house, North Carolina, and pay off major debt. That's it. So nothing anybody says to me, nothing anybody talks about, nothing. I don't care. This is the plan. You either get with the plan or you doesn't matter if you don't get with the plan. Doesn't matter. This is what we're doing. This is where we're going. We bought the houses so cheap in Detroit, put about maybe 5 more K into 1 or 2 of them, and we're selling them for top dollar. Why? Because the average person buying houses in Detroit now are buying them for 70, 80. We bought them for 28 and 32, most of them. So did you lose? No, you learned, you earned, you educated yourself on something. And that's where people are. When people don't have to put money on the table, well, I'm losing. You're not losing anything. You learn something. You earn something. You get something out of it because it's a real asset. This is why people are, well, the economy. They don't have any assets. They don't have any investments. Partly why they don't make any money, but even people that do make money. You saw the articles. 1 in 3 people making over 100K a year are living paycheck to paycheck. Shit, even the 250K live a year are living paycheck to paycheck. When people are like, Erica, why don't you got all these cars and stunting like crazy? I'm like, Because when you start making a lot of money, you start paying a lot of taxes and you start making bigger investments. Cars start to not matter. Travel matters. Eating nice restaurants matters. Eating quality food matters. That's why the average person is like, man, if I could just chill, I go to the gym every day and have a chef. They were asking these people in the street what would they do if they had a certain amount of money. It was always like, work out all the time, chef. Because they think that's what rich people do, have six-pack abs and walk around all the time and be on boats and drinking champagne. It's not real. Again, hey, Joy, I've already answered that. Best time making movies right now. There you go. I don't know anybody. You get it in your 30s, turn around and sell it in your 60s. That's the whole point. What's really going on in the housing market? Really, the truth of it is people with shitty houses saw the market was hot and people wanted to move. And I've already told people this, Corey Dawson. 48% of all homes purchased last year were purchased in the Southeast. Not in California, not in New York, not in Ohio, not in the Midwest, not in these little nowhere states. The Southeast. What is the Southeast? Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, Tennessee. That's it. Ain't nobody in Arkansas, actually, too. Nobody was moving out in the middle of nowhere. Like even Colorado numbers dipped. Everywhere else dipped. every 1 out of 2 homes purchased were purchased in the Southeast. That's why when people say, "Oh, Erica, you're obsessing about Florida and the Southeast," because the sun is the South right now. The South is where it's at. The cheap is where it's at. Where people are leaving from the North, they're going south. No one's saying, I got to retire in New York. I've got to retire in Wisconsin. I've got to retire in, Ohio, Connecticut. No one's saying that. There's some people that will go back because of their family, for sure, but that's not nobody's making that their prime destination. Right? So with this hotness of this market, Corey, a lot of people sold their house for more than it will ever be worth, right? Even here in Austin. I think I was talking to my friend, a couple friends who are realtors, and they're saying, man, we just had like 1,000 houses get marked down price drop. Now, what does the price drop do? It does a couple things. If they price drop, it pops back up in the algorithm of Zillow and Redfin and all these other ones, right? It pops back in the algorithm. It pops back in your recommendations. You look at it again. It's a trick that realtors have been using, right? That's one part. The part two of it is they want it too much. There's crappy built 1980 Texas houses out here that people from California would come and either tear them down or put 50,000 into them and update them. Or a flipper would put 50,000, update them, and still sell them for these prices. That's waning. I don't have to buy your old 80 ass year. I'll buy your old ass house. I can go down here, buy a land lot, or go get with one of these new construction builds and keep it pushing. Check out look at these YouTube channels where so many people move to Texas or move to South Carolina, Georgia. Oh my God, we bought a house for the first time. That's just so cheap. And hedge funds know people moving from up north are used to renting because they can't buy, because they can't afford in those cities, that they know that they can rent you this house and you'll stay there for years. That's what's going on with the housing market. Right? Now, people talk about interest rates. I don't give a yam about the interest rates. Interest rates can be 10%, and there's still going to be a guy and a girl looking at each other like, you want to buy this house? Baby, let's buy this house. They will. You know why? Because you pay 22% interest on your credit cards. You pay freaking 29% interest on some of these gas cards, some of these Visa cards. You pay in the interest already in every other category. They're trying to convince you that housing, because really the people, that's their only asset they eventually buy, a lot of them, they don't buy stocks, they don't buy anything else. Oh my God, 7% interest on this house. That's crazy. You know, people I know had 7% interest, a ton. From 1995 to 2000 freaking 12, a ton of people. I got a 20-year mortgage at 39. I'm 45 now and paid extra to pay it off early. Yeah, if you make an extra payment, one extra payment a year, you shave off I think it's 7 years off your payments. All road leads to real estate. It's just the truth. Manufacturing has no choice. I mean, we have a ton of manufacturing in Dallas and in parts of Texas, but you also have something people haven't paid attention to with the whole supply chain crisis, is we have last mile warehouses. All right. A lot of people aren't talking about this, but there are warehouses all over Texas. And you're like, how am I getting my Amazon package in one day? It's in the warehouse down the street. It's been there. They didn't ship it from China two weeks ago. It's been there sitting collecting dust. So again, it's one of those things. The great migration back south is about to happen, but as usual, folks are going to be the last one to make move. They're going to be the last. They're arguing with you like, oh, I wouldn't pay that. I used to pay. I mean, again, I was in North Carolina. People were arguing about how these houses used to be 80K. These used to be 100K. So you're going to get one now? Oh, I would never pay that much for it. And you'll never own a house in North Carolina. You'll never own it in South Carolina. You'll always be sitting on the outside. These houses will never drop 75%, for you to buy a house for cheap. This is a talking point that people have. And I'm gonna go there. I'm watching this girl who works at Home Depot pull off in a Mercedes Benz. She's clearly not a manager. Anyway, so the talking points that people have when they know it doesn't involve them. Let's just go there, right? All these people talking about marriage, and they 69 years old and they ain't never marrying another person. Why are you talking about it? They just want to be heard. They just want to talk. All right. When it comes to business and business channels, a lot of people make it their life mission to be internet famous. I don't want to be internet famous. I want to close out this year with $1 million off 2 houses from cash out refi, knock out some debt, about $500,000 in debt, and then take the other money and go invest and go live my life. And people, what they happen is they don't build a real life. This internet is their life, right? This internet is where they like algorithm Negroes. They in here. They don't have community. They don't have clubs. They don't have membership groups. They don't have people they go hang with off this computer. And so that's my encouragement to you guys. You want to know what I'm doing? I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm doing. And guess what? It don't matter if I tell you what I'm doing. Most of you ain't going to do it. I bring on people every week and they'll have courses and stuff. And you're like, oh, I just don't know. Hey, guess what? It's okay if you don't know. Because I know you're not going to do it. It's okay. But look up in 2-3 years from now when I'm not here and these videos are still out here. I said what I said. There you go. Our ag commissioner became a millionaire in North Florida when she got home and elected. Most of her wealth is in her home. I keep telling people that's why these people obsess about the house they're going to buy, because they want to play Monopoly, but don't have any of the other pieces. Right? Robert Kiyosaki came to fame because Robert Kiyosaki came up with the Oprah, she had the power, on TV. And he said something and people knew what he said was right. Right? They're playing this rat race game. They're going to work, they're working, the kids, college, and they can't seem to get ahead. Right? So it was this concept where the masses were awakening to a system that wasn't working. Why? Because they didn't have investments. They just, all their money. You ever see the little diagram he shows where it's like they work, all their money goes out. That's it, over and over again. That's what 50% of Americans are doing right now. And they don't own a house this time. They own they're an apartment and cars. And so they can't figure out, why is all my money leaking like this? What's happening? You're not even in the game. You're not even in the game. You're not in the game. There you go. Read the today that CAT is moving their headquarters from Illinois to existing facility in Irving, Texas. Yeah. Illinois is farm country, right? We always hear about Chicago, but the rest of Illinois is farm country. And they're leaving there. People are leaving by the dozen. Dr. Dix, automation awareness. Thank you for the 1999 super chat. I just finished doing a radio interview about automation. People are not ready for the future. They're not. They're not. When you go to Home Depot and the people are scanning the scanner, they act like it's a burden for them to come cash you out, and they're the last cashier. Baby, your job is gone. Like work it while you can. The other guy circled the other day, said, please give me a review. I called and gave him a review because I'm like, you probably the last cashier they're going to have at this Home Depot. There are whole Walmarts that have no cashiers. It's going to be more. You're going to see more of that in the future. Right? The most variable in most companies are the people. Right? When you get mad about sales or customer service calls, you get mad at the people. Okay? Let me see here. Hey, it just happens. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right now. I had to get a new lawyer, new property manager. We literally had to turn up the heat and be like, hey, she's got to go now. And, the law is finally loosening up, for Detroit because enough people have been making enough noise. So, you know what I mean? But again, there's things under your control. There's things you can't control, right? I can control who manages the property. I can control who's the lawyer for it. I can control those things. And when you put new energy into something, you know what I'm saying? I only got 3 projects. Like me, people see, oh, Erica, you doing stuff all the time. No, I'm not. I have 3 things I do every day. Promote things on YouTube, affiliates and otherwise, literally, just private life. And then 2, manage this thing where we literally just filed a police report not even 20 minutes ago on the last truck. On the last truck, filed a police report. And so that person, has, they're riding down the highway in Florida. They're going to be caught up. Police are going to get them. So, at some point you have to say, what can I control? How can I get this done? How can I get this wrapped up? And you have to commit to it 100%. While I was in Florida, the energy was high. The mastermind, I was tired. I was ready to come home, but I knew, okay, get in this room, get this energy, get pumping, and get going. Most people will never do what I do. They can come on YouTube and talk on YouTube all day and night. They can sell courses forever, but you don't gotta sell courses. You don't gotta sell consulting. You gotta sell any of this. If you get in the right amount of real estate properties, you're done. There's 2 people I know right now who don't want to sell courses anymore because they literally just had a meeting with private equity. They're like, I'm done. They don't want to sell courses. They don't want to talk to people. They don't do anything. They got to talk with private equity. Private equity is going to give them $2 million. Why should they do it anymore? Right? Why do people like courses in YouTube? Because it's easy. It's easy. So they think it's easy. They start out thinking it's easy and then they realize it's not. But when you really get a business going and you have your documents in order and private equity starts talking to you, you're done. You don't want to do this shit no more. It's just different levels. It's just different levels. It's just different levels. And I'm not crapping on it. I love it. I love communicating with you guys. It's been the pleasure of my life. It's changed my life. YouTube has definitely changed my life. It's put me in the game in ways it can't even describe. But when I sit here and tell you the course game was drying up last year because the stimmy money was gone. You got people who are stimmy money millionaires, stimmy money business owners, and when a year or 2 from now, you're going to see they didn't have no business acumen. You're going to see they're fell underwater, and people didn't notice it, but I was pulling thousands of dollars a month over into save trucks and save housing and do all this stuff, again, because I had an actual business. But anyway, no one remembers the good stuff you did, always the bad, So. Investors will keep buying homes under $500,000 in cash, free interest. Working class thinks their first dibs when the market starts to slow down with no 20% down and can't afford a 6% loan. This is the madness. Ghosting while black. This is the insanity that people are saying online that, yeah, I can't wait for a crash. No, you can't. Because if it really crashes like it did, which it won't, because we're not in a housing crash, we're in a inflationary place. We're in a stagflationary place, really in hyperinflation, but I don't want to go too crazy into the definitions. You won't be able to afford anything. When it crashed last time, title companies folded that day. Companies folded. Credit cards folded. Everything folded. Banks folded. Gone. You came to work and there were signs on the door. People tell me, I can't wait for a crash. You sound like a special person because that's not real life. In a real crash, you won't work tomorrow. You'll be at your mother's house, sharing a room with your sister who's in another room. That's what you'll be doing. So this whole I can't wait for a crash, I'm gonna get out there and buy a home. No, you're not. Baby, if you ain't in the game now, you ain't never gonna be in the game. If you weren't in the game in 2019, you ain't gonna be in it now. If you ain't won it in 2018, you're not gonna be in it. This is the lies people tell out here. This is why I talk about the power of now. The power of now is, where are you trying to go? At least get the ship turned that way. Okay. Again, people love to tell you you're doing too much, you move too fast, you're doing this, because that's not what they would want to do. Now, is there a world where if you just focus on one thing, you can get far? Heck yeah. A lot of my wholesale friends, a lot of my friends buying properties and apartments, they just niche down and focus really hard on that one thing, and they've made mountains of success. I salute them, right? For sure. But there is something to be said to get in and out of an industry where you saw something, you learned it, and you can turn and go on after life. There's something to be said about that too. So yeah, 2020 they were done. They still in porches too. They probably are. You got to pee or get off the pipe. There's a lot of stuff people are doing. I'm telling y'all, like when I bring on different people talking about tech, and the reason I brought on Ronald Gatewood, the last one, is he has one cert and he's in the game. He's been in the game 20 years off one cert. There are people at his job with no certs. Get your foot in the door. I appreciate it. Thank you. Only in the Army, Marines, and maybe land duty for Navy 3 to 4 years, but Air Force they more stable 6 to 7 years. This is true. They're not Air Force. They're actually Navy. He's actually in the Navy because he's from North Carolina. They were in a Navy town. But that's the thing. They were in the Navy and they've been there since 2018. And they're kind of antsy, like, oh my God, how long are we gonna be here? It's 2022. How long are we gonna be here? We want to go home. We want to go to our next duty station. Because they had told them at the time Hawaii or Japan, and they were like, well, either one's fine. And now they're stuck. They've been stuck there. This is true. Shared economics. Took your credit course to work with it. Thank you. I appreciate it. See what else I got in here. Trying to wrap it up. Yeah. So many people say, well, yeah. Switch careers, started my own web development company in Wisconsin because of Tech Tuesday. How do I get in touch with Erica? I can give back some free work. Thanks for what you do. Hit us up at admin@classyclimbers.com. Someone take a screenshot of this for me. I'm going to leave it up for a second. Take a screenshot of it and send it to our office. Send it to our email, admin@classyclimbers.com, or send it to me on Instagram. Take a screenshot of this and send it to me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it for those who do it. Leave it up there for a second. What do I think about foldable homes? I mean, it's same thing I think about the concrete center block stuff. It depends on the price points. You have to have people to invest in it. They can come up with all kind of little silly stuff. Like when we were going towards Yellowstone, they had a bunch of those little sheds, like cabins, a bunch of those little cabins that they put on properties. The price point is so cheap. Why would you buy one of those? That kind of thing. Vacant lots, that's right. Parents been renting for 15 years now. And now the landlord wants to sell. I asked why didn't they buy? That part right there. They never were planning to buy. They never planned to buy. The rich are complaining that the Ferrari they could have bought is 100K is now 140,000. I'm wondering when it will drop back to 100,000. Not going to happen. Exactly. Uh-oh. It's tripping. Internet stripping. Let me see if it still works. Okay. Friend, when I say internet isn't my life, I feel you on this. Yeah, I have a following on the net, but I'm trying to bring folks to the country and live. Listen, Will Edmond is building a whole retreat out in Texas, and I salute him because that's what's up. I told y'all, listen. If I could go buy some farmland in a cooler part of Texas, or probably closer to like Wimberley, and could build out some Airbnb on it, I'd have Airbnb on the other side, and my house would be over here, and I'd have a little farm. I'm telling y'all, like I just don't the money that a person who owns their own land and Airbnbs off just on the corner. When we're in Yellowstone, we saw it in Idaho and other places. Just they have a couple of those cabins off on the corner, and those cabins rentals because people they want to look like they're near the country or in a getaway house, but not really make the investment, make money. Will Edmond be living his life, y'all, and I love it. Internet is not my life. Offline money as well. And this is the thing. You may be seeing me at events. You may be seeing me promo. You may be seeing me working this YouTube. This is a business. I am going to be working. Right? A lot of people are like, well, why aren't you doing this? I'm working. If you see me on YouTube, it's work. You see me on Instagram, it's work. It's not like, oh, I'm just out here chilling on the internet all day. I'm not these other people. We're not the same. My goal is to build these 2 houses, pull $1 million out in equity, and go live the life. I'm out of here. September, I'll be in Europe. I'm not gonna be here. That's why I have to partner with certain people so that they're at that property every day, making sure it gets finished. That's why we're not the same. This internet thing, it costs me money. It costs you nothing. You can watch these videos and critique. I see people in the channel time. Well, I'm a truck driver and I do this. Okay, cool, boo. It costs you nothing. Because no one knows you. No one's watching you, Otis. No one sees you. You gotta live offline. Right? I'm just telling you, go talk to many of these investment people at Edward Jones and all these places. You'll be just shocked at what they're seeing. People that make good money. I'm talking about making 100,000 for years, have nothing, no assets, no stocks, no nothing. You just be shocked. You'll be absolutely shocked. You go talk to these people. They work with people all the time with no assets, nothing. I'm just telling you, CJ, like, again, I had already told people, like, I've been telling for a while. They're like, oh, you're making it up. I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm building these houses so I can go. Building them so I can go spend the whole month of September in Croatia, then spend the whole month of October with my family and doing vacations. I'm gone, baby. That's the game plan. That's the number one game plan. And any other way you're going to see me is at masterminds and conferences. That's it. That's it. Because I've ran into too many women who don't even do it. They don't do no podcast. They do interviews every once in a while and live their life and go about their day. You really can. You're S4. You're saying it. And a lot of people that were at the event, what I loved about it is they start to see money differently. The hard money lender's talking. He's like, hey, this. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. What if you don't have money for business foundation and bank account? It's okay to use Cash App in the first place? No, don't use Cash App. Don't use it. A business bank account costs $100. If you don't have $100, go Uber this weekend. Go Uber all weekend until you have $100. If you don't have LLC in most states costs $125. Go Uber this weekend, all weekend till you get $125. Buy your LLC. Go take $10, get you a namecheap.com Gmail, and then go get you a business bank account. All right? Am I telling you something crazy? I'm not. Go Uber this whole weekend till you get $125 to open up your business bank account. That's it. Okay, you don't want to Uber? Go sell some stuff in your house. I don't pay nobody in Cash App. One, because my Cash App got locked, and then it's back open. But I just say, if you're a business owner, there's just too many ways to make money. Stripe, PayPal, those are all free to start. You can freely start Stripe and freely get the little swiper. You don't have to do a Cash App. There you go. Just went to a divorce, bought 4 acres a few years ago. This property was my base camp. Congratulations, D. Bailey Speaks. I hope you're in a great place. But again, 4 acres, you can do a lot with it. My marital property sold for $17K over ask, and there you go. That's my whole point, Chocolate Blog. It won't be the houses crashing this time. It'll be the people. You'll start seeing. Listen, I've got a video. We're gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna see if Dr. Dix or who's available. We can talk about it. See who's available. They have Section 8 housing. The HOA is charging the person $300 a day until they put the Section 8 people out of the house, because it's a high-end neighborhood. $300 a day until the Section 8 person leaves. These neighborhoods are not playing with y'all. They have a structure. They have it set up a certain way. They're not allowing certain people to live there. You're going to start seeing neighborhoods where there's like 20, 30 people living in there in a house. I've seen it here in Austin and Georgetown, Texas, where you got like 10 Indian families up in that mess in Georgetown. But it was a multi-million-dollar house. It was a huge 6 bedrooms, multiple bathrooms house. But you'll see more of that. It won't be houses this time. It'll be people. Where people wait to the last minute. Well, I guess I'm gonna go do this certificate from the community college. I know people right now who they can't. I remember this happened to me when I was growing up. That, oh, I can't go to community college. It's gonna cost me. And I'd be like, the community college? It's costing you $150. You don't got $150. Go work and get $150. But that certification that you can get with a grant, it's gonna free you. Sherry, the business plan writer. She has a website now that helps you figure out. And she's not even paying me to do this. I'm just telling you. That helps you find grants, business grants. I put my staff on it. I put one of the VAs today. Their only job today is they need to go out and go find me a list of business grants. Go find me 1,000 of them. Why? Just because I don't want to miss anything, right? I've been telling you about the EIDL. I've been telling you about all these businesses that marketing and funds and loans. I don't want to miss anything. Your job for the next 3 days is getting me those lists of grants, and that's it. And when you're done, we'll go through them. Right? Because I can't take time for what I'm doing. My 3 tasks is YouTube, closing out everything in Detroit, putting a police report together on this last semi truck to get it back, doing this and getting it done. That's what people don't understand. Like this is video and it's fun and I love talking to y'all, but there's like a real offline world out here. Right? Just one of those things. I bought a house, got the LLC. They now hit me with all kinds of fees, killing me. Yeah, the fees, man. The market's not cashing. It might plateau, but it won't crash. Now it's going to come down a little bit. There's some in Austin. Like right now in Austin, I have a friend who just listed his house. My friend just messaged me that there's 30 houses for sale in his neighborhood at the same time as him. He waited too long. He should have put his house on the market last year. But you can't tell grown people. They don't want to listen. Right? The dollar's non-existent. Stagflation. What we're going to be experiencing. Hey, what's up, Eric? I want to say you're right because my wife and I bought our second home when it was 2.75% interest and now it's 5.6. Me and my wife love you. Thank you, Carlton. I appreciate that. I really do. Somebody screenshot that to me and send it to me. Okay. I asked y'all for the screenshots because I use them in marketing and different things and it just helps. Right. 100K play is the way. Great meeting you this weekend, Erica. Me and my wife here are about to take over North Orlando. I saw you guys. You guys are super nice. Super nice. Again, this guy was there, him and his wife. Again, there's young brown people, successful people, making money, married, living their best life. And people got to really wake up that, like, I was telling Super Slide this weekend, people be out there drinking the Kool-Aid. There are people out here living a great life. Congratulations. I look forward to seeing it. But that's been my game plan. I was telling people all weekend, what are you going to do? I said, I'm building 2 properties, 3-2 in the front, AUDU in the back. It's going to be, the value is going to be 1.4 million, maybe 1.5, maybe more. Take it and keep it rolling. Yeah, for sure. But I'll tell you this way, go look at the price of what I'm saying. Go look at a house with the ADU in the back. How much do they worth? They're like $1 million here in Austin. 1.5, 1.7 million. Right? I'm doing it in Florida because I want to be connected, aka tethered to someone who's already rolling. So I suggest you look at it's all good. Listen, it's seasons to this stuff. That's what I'm saying, Carlton. There's people who make 100K and they don't own anything. Nothing. It's a shift. I mean, the shift's already in place. If you've been buying food at the grocery store, you feel it. Okay. That's my whole thing. If anybody ever comes to my channel and saying they don't have money to start something properly, go Uber this weekend. Get off this computer, go Uber all weekend. That's all. And the reason that's happening In Arizona, it's because it's right beside California. People were trying to think what's the closest they can hop over and get out. The beginning of this video was about Yellowstone floods. That's it. The flood is really the economy, right? I mean, I guess I can change the title in the system. It's about Yellowstone, the economy, the flood in the economy. This I would agree. Dude, it depends on, are you pre-approved? What are you pre-approved for? What city are you in? You have to understand every single market is unique. It's a special slow lake. I keep trying to get y'all to understand that. You could be right now in Austin, Texas, and telling me, Eric, I don't know if I want to buy. Cool. You could be in San Antonio, like, Eric, I just found like 100 houses, brand new construction for 225,000, which is half the price of Austin houses. I go, get it. The mortgage is gonna be nothing. Your mortgage is gonna be less than nothing, basically. There you go. Took 100K equity out of my house, buying a house in Texas, turned California property into an Airbnb. Congratulations. Hold on. Somebody complaining? Let me go ahead and block you. You're blocked. Block ministry. Have a great day. What's up, Eric? I just launched my first Google ad today for my first online business. I bought your digital. Congratulations, Valdez. Let us know how it goes. Community college is cheap. Glad I went that route. I'm telling you, it is. Let me see what else I got in here real quick. I saw the writing on the wall last year and sold my condo, bought a house and a duplex, plan to buy more houses and land. Thank you. Congratulations, Lisa Ling. There you go. Ooh. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's what we got in here. That's what we got. But yeah, been here an hour and 6 minutes. Family's fine. We're okay. Again, had to block somebody complaining. At the end of the day, all that showed me with the Yellowstone thing is you keep waiting, wait, and then the same opportunities will never be the same. Same with housing, same with relationships, same with dating, same with your physical body. All these things they don't stay the same. Nothing stays consistently the same. You won't always look 25. You won't always be 30. You won't always be 35. You have to make decisions. You have to press. I'm in one house buying group, and most of the people already started. They started in November 2021 with their Las Vegas. Their houses are done. So I'm over here with Andy and his group, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get moving because guess what you'll look up? Nick Taylor, stop telling my business. Y'all know I got more than one car. I got more than one car. You know that, Nick Taylor. You know I got more than one car. You'll look up and the economy will pass you by. Again, Nick Taylor. One day I'm gonna get him on here one day talking about how all these people are getting their trucks towed. Okay. Gonna be losing their trucking companies because of several reasons. Gas, they're not prepared, they don't have a real business, they don't have real credit cards, they don't have real stuff set in order. I know people be huffing and complaining about stuff. I just block them, right? So again, this is the biggest thing I want to get y'all to understand is economy's changing, right? Where are you at in that? How are you going to thrive? What moves are you going to make so that you're in a good position to keep it pushing? That's my biggest thing for y'all, right? That's what I want y'all to understand that. 2 abandoned tractors today, and they're gonna go to auction, Nick. They're gonna go to auction, or some owner's gonna be looking for them, looking for them. That's the sad part. I keep telling y'all, like, you're gonna see people abandon assets. I'm gonna try to find me a trailer out of this. We're gonna close out with this person. Can you explain the wealth transfer? What is the wealth transfer? We've already experienced several of them, right? If you go read, there's a couple books to read. One of the wealth transfers were when we stopped manufacturing and we spent all our money on buying products from China. That was the first wealth transfer, right? Let's really go there. That was the first wealth transfer. When we start closing down all these factories in the United States and we send our money to China and other countries and Mexico, that was the first wealth transfer, right? Second wealth transfer, what's going on right now is you're not owning anything. You won't own anything. You know why you won't own anything? You don't have anything invested. You don't own a house. You don't have stocks. You don't have a pension. You don't have investments. You don't have no land. You don't have no farm. You don't have no business. So the guy or girl who does what? Owns a farm, owns a business, owns a land, owns a house. You're going to be giving your money to them for the next 10 years. You're going to be giving your money to them for next year. This is why people are so angry with Asians and Indians and immigrants that come to America. Because immigrants start businesses, they buy houses, they buy businesses, they own things. So the wealth transfer. What is the wealth transfer? All the money you make, you'll be giving to someone else, and it'll be out of your pocket because you don't own anything. You don't own no silver, you don't own no gold, you don't own no stocks, you don't own insurance options. You don't own any of that. Any of it. When they talk about wealth, they're not talking about your job that pays you 6 figures. Nobody cares if your job pays you 6 figures. You make 6 figures and you own nothing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's the wealth transfer. You'll be working the next 10 years with nothing to show for it, Lynn Williams. That is the wealth transfer. When people keep saying the word, the wealth transfer, oh, the Black and Latino community, they'll be in poverty, zero assets in 2036 and 2050. You know why? They're saying you won't own a home. And we have a bunch of people on the internet right now trying to convince you not to own a home. A lot of them trying to convince you don't own a home. It's a trap. Yet they're buying up homes left and right. Right? They're trying to convince you all this Airbnb is going to crash. But who is it crashing for? It's only crashing for the guy or girl who owns an apartment and got some basic rinky-dink Airbnb. It's not crashing for the guy who owns the beach house. It's not crashing for the guy who owns the mountain house. Right now, there's an article on a woman who's making $100,000 a month. You know what she owns? A bunch of properties in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and in the mountains. Why? Because I told you in my tax lien courses, I told you in my tax lien videos, people in the mountains, once their grandparents die, nobody wants the property. Somebody comes and buys it, put a cabin on it, put a small Airbnb on it, make a killing. That's what she's doing. She's making $100,000 a month, and she's young. She's barely 31 or 32, off of a bunch of mountain rentals. Why? Because people want to go have a mountain break. They want to get away cabin. And the average guy or girl, 50% of our population, all they're going to do is go to work, buy cars, spin up their credit card debt is through the roof right now, and goof off. They're not going to buy anything. They're not going to be invested. That's the wealth transfer. Those 50% are asleep at the wheel. They're asleep at the wheel. They want to show up to work, do bare minimum, get paid, and buy cars and go on vacations and look up and be complain on Facebook. That's it. Think about it. That's the wealth transfer. If no one explained it to you that way, they're doing you a disservice, because that's what it is. When you go to the little corner store and Muhammad owns it, everybody in Muhammad family is going to profit off that corner store. That neighborhood will not profit. Right? When you go work for these trumping companies, and I talk on the phone with people, and most of them work for my immigrant at these trucking companies and complain about it, that's who you're working for. That's where your money's going. That's where your energy is going. That's where your time is going. All right? That's where your money's going. The guy or girl who owns beach houses, own rental, own land, they're straight. I literally typed in my phone the other day, $5,000 land lots. Found them. Reached out to a bunch of wholesalers. Got them. Connected with people that can help me. Got them. I'm going to be okay. Right? Like, reason I'm building these 2 houses is just to do a knockout of debt. Instead of running around wholesaling and doing all this little flipping and doing all this little stuff, build 2 properties and be done. And knock out $500,000 in debt. And this business debt is not personal. I don't have no personal debt. I only got business debt. I have no personal debt, just business debt. These cars I have are paid off cars. This is an SUV, but you figured that out from the angle I'm sitting at this height. Nick Taylor did at least. Right? So again, that's the wealth transfer. That's what's going on. Wake up. Right? The reason I put the digital real estate course together, because a lot of y'all will spend hours on YouTube arguing with somebody about sports and relationships and BS. Put some money in your pocket. Make some kind of things that help you, right? The color of the interior, it's tan. That's all. Again, my lord, you're right. If you don't own nothing, most likely you're gonna not own something for a while. I make only 62 a year, own some properties, land, northern AZ. I'm still just a steel mill worker. But guess what, Carlton? You're awake enough to own some stuff. There's a bunch of people out here complaining, but all they want to do is do scratch off tickets and beer on Friday. That's the same reason they want you to believe in the crash. I want you to understand what's been happening. A massive awakening of so many minorities into business ownership, whether trucking, whether Torito, rental, Airbnb, investing money. And then they did the PPP and a bunch of people scammed. They're like, look at all these scams. All these people scamming you. They're making it being an entrepreneur a bad thing. It's a bad thing. Don't business, that's a bad thing. Don't invest in yourself, that's a bad thing. Don't own property, it's a bad thing. You could get stuck in a bad neighborhood. There's people picking up houses in Inglewood for $1. Now they're over there building a Whole Foods by Inglewood and selling those same Chicago properties for 400,000. But you didn't want to own in Inglewood because it was dangerous. It's a bad area. Now they got Brittany jogging down your neighborhood. Jeff walking his dog in your neighborhood. It's in your face. It's literally in your face. I can't make it any clearer. Erica, I can't afford to buy housing. Housing's so expensive. Why don't you buy land and build the house yourself? Oh, that's work. That requires me to follow steps. Yeah, that's what it is. Yep, that's basically what it is. Mm-hmm. Yep. Just want to make sure you were all on the same page there. They just gonna drink on Friday. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna drink on Friday. They're gonna get their scratch off tickets. And they're completely fine. Listen, whenever you meet somebody, this is the number one thing I tell you. If somebody says, where the party at, man? Where the hoes at? Where the party at? If that's the thing they say every week, you need to run from that person. They are a short-term thinker, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous to be around those type of people. Dangerous. It's dangerous. Okay? Somebody say I'm a sexy tater tot. Stop playing with me. If I listen to bad advice from somebody who owned nothing, I wouldn't have purchased my home 10 years. I'm telling you, listen, they got a dude out here on the internet. Nick Taylor, you heard him? Oh, black women shouldn't buy houses. They don't need to be owning houses. Let me tell you something. If you're a black woman and you 40 and you don't own nothing, honey, the road ain't going to get no easier. You 32 and don't own nothing. The road ain't going to get no easier. I know white women who got married and literally the white man moved in with them because he didn't have no money. They working jobs, getting paid really well. Married these white women in their 30s and moved in with them. So if they struggling and some brother telling you not to buy no house, honey, don't listen to them. Just don't listen to them. You about to be ass out, homeless. You're going to see homeless women in the future. And this is why you see so many women partnering with other women, moving in with other women, a bunch of women living in a house together because the math ain't mathing. They like, oh, this economy's rough, right? This is part of the reason here in Austin, Texas. I know girls who every couple of years got to move because they moved in a house full of women, and the main woman who owned the house then got married, and the man got to move in there because they ain't got no money. Okay, or every girl in the house then got married, and there's only a couple left. I've seen it play out multiple years, y'all. If you over 25, to my where the hoes at the party, you need to run, run, run. I'm telling you, listen. I gotta go, y'all. But I just want to make sure we all on the same page. You see me out here on the internet, I'm working. By the time my houses are done, I mean, I'm hoping by the end of the boat party, my projects will be mostly done, and I'll have my meal, and I will go right off in the sunset. I will have my boat party. I hope you come. We'll have a winery locked down on Friday. It's gonna be a big old blast with the music to close us all out, and live band, and Saturday the boat party, and then that Monday, I think Monday, I get on a plane and I fly to Africa, and then from Africa I go hang out in Europe for a month. So, I hope I'll see you. You got me for 66 more days. You better enjoy the content. I'm having a good time, and it is what it is. So you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. This is your girl Erica, Classic Line Blog. We have our phone special going on for a little bit longer. We have our links to our courses, and the salmon link I'll make sure to put inside the first line. So anyways, you guys, this is your girl Erica, Classic Line Blog. Pay attention. Later.